Hey, what's going on, guys? I wanted to make a quick video talking about my Glock 19 Gen 5 and why I carry it in 2024 and why I will be continuing to carry it in the years to come.
Is it worth it? Oh yeah, it's worth it. If you're strong enough.
For the past 4 years, it has become more apparent than ever that having a way to protect not only yourself but your family is paramount. Having that type of insurance policy is key. And just like you wouldn't want to have a poor policy for any of the other insurances in your life, a firearm is no different. And so when I made that consideration, I chose this, the Glock 19 Gen 5. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why I chose the Glock 19 Gen 5, some of its shortcomings and ways to improve it, and why ultimately this is the gun to choose moving forward. Now, let's get into the video. All right, it's 2024 and there is a plethora of gun options for gun owners or prospective gun buyers. And there's really solid offerings from Smith & Wesson, SIG, Beretta, whatever you want to look into, but I ultimately chose the Glock 19 Gen 5. Now, one of the strongest considerations for me when it came to picking up this gun was the fact that this has been tried and tested by law enforcement and military around the world. Now, another thing to consider is the availability of parts and the availability of magazines. So back during COVID, we realized that having a firearm is definitely key when neighborhoods were on high alert in some areas of the country and riots were rampant. But we also found out that supply chain shortages can make a big impact on your ability to get ammo and your ability to source magazines. So with something like the Glock 19 Gen 5, you get both of those things. This is a very common handgun. So there are going to be a lot of parts out there, not only online, but with other people. And then the same thing goes for magazines. If you've ever played any sort of video game, something like The Last of Us, in video games, you walk around and you pick up spare mags. So think about that. What type of gun are you running? And in a video game scenario, would you be able to pick up a spare mag? For the Gen 5, the Glock did go full ambi. So you do have a slide release on the left and on the right side of the gun. Now, on the Gen 4, you were able to swap the magazine release from left to right. So I'm running mine on the right side of the gun because I am a left-handed shooter. So if you watched that video where I went over my AR-15 setup, and I will leave a link above to where you guys can check that out, I talked about why I need and run an ambidextrous gun. And I think that it's beneficial to have that option for all gun owners because you never know who could pick up a firearm or you could give a firearm to. On the Gen 5, again, they updated the finish on the slide. I think your mileage may vary with that and how well it actually holds up. They also did slide beveling. It's very prominent up here at the front. Now, they claim that this beveling aids in the reinsertion into the holster. Again, mileage may vary. That beveling also continues down into the frame of the gun from slide to frame. And then they also updated the magazine. Wow. They flared it ever so slightly. As you can see, a little bit of a beveling transfer here on the inside. And I'm trying to get you guys some good angles so you can see that. But they flared it to help in the reinsertion of magazines. If you have a Gen 5, test that out and see if you actually notice a difference. I think there's a slight improvement, but it's not like a competition magwell where you get real easy reinsertion of magazines. But I do think that it's better than nothing. And one thing that a lot of people do not like is this gap here between the base and the magazine. Well, there's solutions for that, but it's not a problem. Now, one thing that I really don't like about Glock 19s, Glocks in general, is the triggers. And so this gun has been made clear, so I can talk about this. The trigger is what most people would say is spongy. Now, spongy is a vague terminology for this issue. What is meant by spongy is it's vague. The distance between the trigger being fully released and it being against the wall is vague and it doesn't really give you much feedback. Now, you don't want it to be a competition trigger where it's basically already sitting on the wall, because in a high stress scenario, you don't want a gun that's basically sitting right on the wall where as soon as you bump it, it's going to fire. But with the Glock triggers specifically, all right, these are a little bit too vague. I've noticed that in dry fire, you can kind of defeat that issue with training, but I did notice that in trying to find the wall, I had a tendency to break through the wall trying to find it. So that's one thing I don't like. Now, one thing I do like about the trigger is its reset. It has a really positive click, an audible click. It's a positive click that you can feel in the trigger, and you're right back on the wall. Right? That click right there, that's the wall. It's reset and ready to go again. And I really like that. So follow-ups are super easy. All those things combined to make this an epic choice in 2024. And that is why I picked the Glock 19, specifically the Gen 5. Now, as far as overall size of handgun, ease of usability, availability of parts, availability of magazines, reliability, the fact that this has been tried and tested by military and law enforcement around the world, this is the insurance policy that I choose, and I think that you would do well to choose Glock as well. So, guys, if you like this, please leave a comment down in the comment section below if you like this type of content from me. If you'd like to see more videos, please let me know. I have some questions, anything that you guys might want to know, leave it down in the comment section below for me. I love to see your comments, and I try to get back to every single one of them. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.